Hampton Roads has a long-running high school and college sports tradition. It's time to give them the spotlight they deserve. This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
And we welcome you to another edition of 757 Sports Talk on Cova Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe wherever you're tuning in. We greet you as it is in the month of August, getting closer and closer to the start of high school, college, and pro football. Howdy, Coach Young. How are you today?
I am doing tremendous.
Tremendous.
I'm in different digs today. I cannot divulge my whereabouts. It's where I hang my hat.
You've departed the Commonwealth.
Possibly.
Probably.
No, I'm just going to say it's possible.
It's plausible, possible, and probable.
I could be a block away from you right now.
No, you're not. No, I have the Coach Young radar. We make sure that doesn't happen.
I'm just saying. But I feel good today. I feel good.
That's good. Hey, want to continue to wish the best for the youngster Norris, as you see it on the ticker, that got hurt in Friday night's preseason game. Very serious injury. Ed, it brought back bad visions and emotions from Damar Hamlin's scary moment for Buffalo in the NFL game with Cincinnati on a Monday night, if I recall, a few years back. And Damar, he's doing a lot better now, but it just reminds you sometimes in sports, and you've been on the court coaching when you've seen injuries and similar moments that make you gasp and, hold your breath. It is sometimes, we watch the games. It is the thrill of victory, the agony of defeat, but there is sometimes life and death with this, and you never wish for anybody to have that situation like it happened for Norris. But good to hear there's been some improvement, and we hope that continues to happen for him.
Yeah, I don't want to see something like that happen to the young man from Buffalo. I don't want to see something like that. I didn't watch the game last night. Didn't have an opportunity. Just busy with some other things. Plus, the travel that I had to do, a little bit of travel.
So you traveled nearby, so that just kind of gives away that you're not in the Commonwealth. But anyway.
As I told you 8 minutes ago, if you go out your door, down 3 blocks, turn right, I could be right there.
And you could not be right there as well.
I could be right there. I could be. Well, there's about 4 places coming in my head, but I'm going to keep our listeners.
That's fine. Let's get to today's 5-minute burning topic, shall we? And it has to do with, as you see, also scrolling across the ticker, Shedeur Sanders of the Cleveland Browns, the guy that slipped in the NFL draft, the son of Deion Sanders, the ballyhooed Colorado quarterback. Also had his moment in the sun in a preseason game for Cleveland and its matchup with Carolina. Our 5-minute burning topic, should we read much into NFL preseason results? I could really go on a long tirade about this because I think the NFL preseason games are meaningless, but I'll let you go first, and then I'll come back with a rebuttal or retort to this. Go ahead. What do you think?
I don't read into it a whole lot in terms of the stats, who beat who. I look at it as a lot of these guys will not be making the permanent roster. There will be key guys. I think preseason football is needed. I think now they play 3 games, used to play 4. Way back in the day, I understand they played 5. I think 2 or 3 is good. You've got to get these guys out of the camp situation, the drill situation against other real opponents, game-like, and play it. I don't think you need to play the veterans a lot, guys that are pretty sure of having a position, definitely for a starting position. I think the other night I heard Anthony Richardson, a quarterback for Colts, on a hit, dislocated a pinky finger, and now he's day-to-day. So, but, I'll just simply say this. Football is a rock and sock'em sport. You're going to get hit. That's what it is. It's contact. But to go just from camp into the regular season, I don't think it should happen that way. But we don't need a whole lot of games. And I think when they add the 18th game, they'll drop one of the preseason, so we'll be down to 2. So, yes, we should have them, but I don't go crazy about it. Some people going berserk like it was the start of the regular season just because they're so anxious about football.
You know, I had someone bring it up to me Friday night, and they said, hey, you're going to watch the Commanders and the Patriots? And I go, for what? It's a preseason game. It means next to nothing, folks. It's much to do about nothing. I'll ask you, Ed, who had the best and worst preseason records in 2024? Do you know or even care?
Don't really care. And I saw that stat. As a matter of fact, somebody, I want to say Detroit, but I won't, something like lost one exhibition game in the last 6 years.
They were 2-1. They were 2-1 last year, but they did not have the best record.
But it was somebody who has a tremendous preseason record over the last few years, and I'm not sure they're even in the playoffs. And I know they didn't win.
Well, Baltimore had a long streak of winning it. But so last year, the New York Football Jets, with discount double check, Aaron Rodgers, who now plays for Pittsburgh, went 3-0 in the preseason. Tennessee Titans went 3-0. Where'd they pick? Number 1 in the draft. Got Cam Ward from Miami. Jacksonville went 3-0. Did it keep the Kansas City Chiefs from going to the Super Bowl, going 0-3? No, it didn't. And the Chicago Bears, that title in town, Chicago, they went 4-0, and they'll show you around to the basement of the NFC North division. So, again, it means next to nothing. Yeah, getting the preparation, but I'm like you. Condense these preseason games down to 2 games, and it's actually been a little higher scoring so far to the small sample size compared to last year where a lot of the unders hit. But I can't get into it. It's just like I tell people all the time. I can't get into NBA Summer League. I'm sorry. And people will say back to me, being the high school aficionado, well, why do you go to 7-on-7s and team camps? Well, yeah, it's a chance to evaluate and see. But I don't hang my hat on, oh, my gosh, so-and-so won this event or they won this such and such. So that means they're going to go to the Super Bowl. People getting all jazzed up over it need to chill. Calm down. All right, calm down. I'm not going to be glued to the TV watching it. But all these people on talk radio, the internet, social media, your TV, your radio, need to take a chill pill. Preseason football results, to me, will be long forgotten about come October 14th, November 16th, and December 11th when we're looking at who's winning what division and who are the legitimate Super Bowl contenders. That's the bottom line.
Totally agree. I don't make a big deal of baseball preseason, basketball preseason, hockey preseason. They're needed to see new guys, young guys, drafted guys, free agents fitting in. And people say, well, the all-star games are a joke because they're exhibition and the players don't want to play them because they don't want to get hurt, especially during the season.
Right.
Even though the Pro Bowl football was after the season. But, I do like for the players to play serious in the all-star games, because that's what I'm used to seeing. But the preseason stuff, play it. I wouldn't even care if it was televised or not. Just play it. Let the coaches evaluate their people. Hopefully nobody gets hurt. And some guys that play, this kid played great in the preseason. He made a roster spot because of that. Okay, good. That's what preseason was for. Or this other guy, ballyhoo, number 2 round draft pick, just was horrible, and we can't keep it. We cut him. Well, he wasted a draft pick, but you saw in preseason he can't play because those weren't a lot of veterans he's played against. So what's he going to do against veterans? So, once again, I'm not going to lose sleep over it, and I'm not killing myself to watch it.
Stick around. We're just getting started. We got plenty more 757 Sports Talk coming your way on Cova Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe if you're watching on the YouTube, and interact with us on our social media channels, and we'll be back with more. Stay tuned.
What makes a life a good one? Is it our adventures? Or the friends we find along the way? Is it the challenges we conquer together? Maybe it's the people's lives we touch every single day. So, what makes a life a good one? You'll have to figure that one out for yourself.
What is more? Is it more reps, more strength, more stamina? We say it's all of that, but it's greater than just what's in the mirror. It's about improving your mental and physical health. More is a feeling of achievement, fulfillment, confidence. It's looking better, feeling better, being better. And it's our mission to get you there. Because here, you are more. One Life Fitness.
Portco is your local nonprofit organization dedicated to economic empowerment through employment for people with disabilities. We focus on abilities, not limitations, providing on-the-job vocational support. Find your pathway to employment. Contact us or learn more at portco.org.
Hampton Roads has a long-running high school and college sports tradition. It's time to give them the spotlight they deserve. This is 757 Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
And welcome back. I am the coach. And normally Matt Hatfield is the one that we come back to with all kinds of gibberish that he needs to come out with. Sometimes we even came back with some fool in the pool. So far, so good. We haven't had it. Let's keep our fingers crossed. But Matt had a chance recently at the Landstown Football Team Camp to speak to Hickory High School football coach Donnell Brown about the Hawks and their perspectives for this season. Let's see what they had to say right here on COBA Sports TV.
Okay, here with Hickory head football coach Donnell Brown as Hawks getting ready for the 2025 campaign as they compete with about a dozen schools here at the Landstown Team Camp in Virginia Beach. Coach, always good to be back out here. It's summertime, it's football, it's hot, but it could be a lot more humid and hot, and I know you're ready for another season.
Absolutely. Each year is a new year, new group of kids. We lost some good seniors last year, and they're going to go play college football. And now we got the next group of seniors and the next group of kids that are coming and doing the hard work. And we're waiting to see what they do for Hickory High School and Hickory community in the upcoming season.
I know you had some neat moments a season ago. We had you on the Hash with Hatfield podcast, and you got some key returnees. One of them who I know is not in this team camp, but will be with this year off the edge, Kaiko.
Yeah, Kaiko Liao, yeah. He great kid. I mean, you see what he does on the field. He plays with a high motor. He plays with great technique and fundamentals, but he does the same thing off the field. High achieving kid in the classroom, always working hard in the weight room. So definitely him, along with other seniors that we got returning, we're excited to see what they do to help us out.
And off the edge of a rising sophomore opposite him who's really starting to step up and show some making some strides here in this camp, if you will. Tell us about him.
Yeah, Noah Brandon, he's a linebacker for us. We have a lot of returning depth at the linebacker position, so we approached him and talked to him, and him being a team player was like, hey, I can add some depth down there to the DN. That was the original plan, and 2 days in, he's playing well with pads, so we're excited to see what potential he could bring there, along with some other guys on that D-line, so we're excited to see what we got coming back.
You graduate your quarterback, Owen Kelly.
Yes.
He's now at, where's he go?
Christopher Newport.
CNU, I thought so. But you have a couple of guys that are vying for that position, including a freshman who's got a chance to be someone that we hear from before the season's done.
Absolutely. The freshman's Hunter. He's coming up from the middle school. Big size kids, as you can see. Got a great arm strength. And he's just taking it day by day, developing, trying to get better, trying to help this team be successful. You also have a returning junior for us, 2 returning juniors with Ben Malden and Jaden Littlefield. So those guys are going to continue to battle it out. We got 3 options, so we're going to see who's going to win it out and be the best option for us going forward.
And speaking of big fellas, you got Mr. Bloomquist.
Yes.
He's going to be a rising senior. Yes. He's one of the guys in the trenches. The offensive line is going to be a big deal for you, and a big plus for you is you got Pete Kale, longtime head coach, coaching those guys up front. Right?
Absolutely. Anytime you got Coach Gale coming back on your staff, he was with us last year. When we saw the benefit of having him out there as well. But he does a great job with the O-line. He's been coaching O-line for years, so that helped tutor some of them guys there. Big Anderson Bloomquist, he's had his best offseason he's had all year. He's getting faster, he's getting stronger, so we're looking for big things to him as well, as with returning starter Drew Mansfield, who's been with us and been starting, I think, almost since freshman, sophomore year. So we got some returners there. We also got some pieces to fill in, but I like where we're going.
Playing in the meat grinder that is the Southeastern District, you're never at an athlete advantage in terms of the outside skill guys compared to some other schools, but I know this is one of the better wide receiver defensive back groups you've had in a while in terms of what they have upside-wise, and you got a young man who's getting recruited by Norfolk State. Tell us about that, those guys on the receiver and DB spots.
Absolutely. This is one of our deeper DBs and receiver groups, which brought competition. So we had a lot of competition off season. Evan White was one of the guys that went to camps, and Norfolk State saw him and they liked him and offered him an opportunity to play football there. Another kid that balled into the weight room this year more than he's done in the past. He also ran track for our track team and did some good things for them out there. He already had the skill set at DB. And now he's fine-tuning it better. He's getting stronger. He's getting faster. A lot of returns in the secondary, whereas Suguru, you got Jacoby in the secondary, Ryan Kerr, Jeremiah Haith. You got Porter. We got a lot of guys in the secondary that's going to put us in a better position. And like you said, this is the Southeastern District, so we go against some studs on the perimeter. But I like our chances more so this year than in previous years of being at Hickory, so I'm excited for them.
Well, and last, there's always enthusiasm at Hickory, especially when you get a good Hawk burger. But tell me about just the feeling of the group. Are you one coach told me, Matt, I don't want to use the P word, which is playoffs, but are you one that's putting that up there, bulletin board material? I know Hickory's never advanced in the postseason, but postseason we can get there with the ingredients there. What kind of your thought on what's it going to take to maximize what you guys have in front of you this coming year?
Well, it's going to take, number one, I think, with any team, is coming together. Right, coming together, turning your eye in for a we, right? Turn that eye in and being a team. Quicker you accomplish that as a team, the quicker you get rolling. That's number one. Number two is just maximize our potential. We're a different group than we were last year. We had some strong leaders last year, as you know, in Owen Kelly and Javon, and those guys, some strong leaders have been doing it for 3-4 years for us. This year we got players there, although it's not their natural characteristic to be outspoken. They're still learning how to lead. And I always tell them, lead in your own way. So getting that leadership, getting that team unity is going to be the most important thing. And then it's the day-to-day fundamentals. Doing the little things better than anyone else. As everybody knows, we are in the district we are in. I love it. I don't want to change our district. I love Friday nights. I love the history of the Southeastern District. I think it's the greatest district. So we got an opportunity to play some of the best talent in the state of Virginia every Friday night. You're going to take discipline. You're going to have to play with good fundamentals, and you're going to have to make the play at the right time to be successful in this district. And what better challenge do a coach want or a team want than to have that opportunity? So we're excited.
We'll go check out Coach Brown and the Hawks this coming year on Friday nights, game 1 with the Manor Mustangs. Thank you so much. All the best.
Always. Thank you. Appreciate you.
So that's the enthusiastic Donnell Brown of the Hickory Hawks, part of the twin brother combo. He and Reynaldo Brown are brothers for Hickory that have been long known from the days when they played for Jeff Beard. It is 757 Sports Talk. Like, share, and subscribe to Cova Sports TV. And, of course, for those that don't know, Ed, you may or may not know this, but Donnell Brown, Reynaldo Brown, James Madison Dukes. So JMU in the house. I should just play the fight song for them, shouldn't I? Shouldn't I do that? I should do that right now. I know I have it. My dad's going to be bopping to it later. I know he will be. I've got it somewhere here. It's got to be here. Where is it? It's got to be bopping. There we go. Oh, they're the Dukes. They are the Dukes of JMU.
He'd get more fired up than he was if he hears that.
He gets mad when I call him the Dukes. Oh, he wants to like punch me and throw me against the wall. But anyway, they are the Dukes of JMU. Don't call them the Pukes. Madison, oh, Madison. Anyhow, we're not talking about them right now. I'm talking about Hickory. And we'll show the schedule on the screen for Ed to peruse here. All right, they got Manor out of the gate, Western Branch to follow, and then Deep Creek, Great Bridge on the road. If you're curious about how some of those games turned out a season ago, I will gladly tell you right here and now on Cova Sports TV as we discuss the Hickory Dickory Hawks. Hey, you see what I did there? Not Hickory Dickory Doc. They beat Manor by 48 last year, Ed. Beat Western Branch by 16, beat Great Bridge by 1, lost to Deep Creek by 1. I say all that to say it's not out of the realm of possibility this team is 3-1 or 4-0 when they host Oscar Smith. Now, I don't see them doing what they did in 2006 when they stunned Oscar Smith, one of the rare Southeastern District losses they've had. But they have been hit for some big numbers, 47 Kings Fork, 49 Oscar Smith, 56 Indian River, and 59 Nansemond River last year. So there are some winnable games there, and this is a team that can make the playoffs, don't you think?
You know, I love Coach Brown's enthusiasm. He lost a lot of key pieces, but many teams have. He looks like he feels good about his depth. The youngsters who got some good playing time are getting ready to step in, and they want to go to battle. And I'm excited for him, but then I look at this schedule, and I'm like, okay, get going with a manner win. You beat them really bad last year. Western Branch is going to be a little harder to beat this year than last. At Deep Creek won't be. That'll be a rock 'em sock 'em. Great Bridge is a rival. You know, you're saying, hey, possibly 4-0, maybe 3-1, not out of the realm. I'm also saying could be 1-3.
No, I think they get at least 2 wins there.
Yeah,
I'll put a Hawk burger on it with you. Means I'll buy you a Hawk burger, you buy me a Hawk burger if they're not at least 2-2 through the first 4 games.
Yeah, you know, you would think Manor, maybe Great Bridge.
I think Manor and Great Bridge with new first-year coaches who they beat a season ago, 1 by 48, 1 by 1, are going to be wins again. I think the Western Branch Deep Creek games are closer to toss-ups, and I'd probably not favor them. I don't know that I'd favor them in either game, but I think they're games that if they get a couple breaks, they could win. It's going to depend on how the passing game goes and up front in the trenches goes, which I like Pete Gale being a part of that staff. He's going to coach those guys up. Former veteran head coach from Great Bridge, also coached at Kings Fork recently as an assistant before landing back at Hickory last year. So I think they're a sneaky team, and if they get the right draw in Region 5A, it was shown just last year with Deep Creek a 7 beating Cox a 2 that the Southeastern District prepares you for the playoff rigors. It shows you that. I'm not saying Hickory's going to the region championship and going crazy here, but you know, they're going to get that first playoff win in school history at some point. I don't know if this year is the year, but I see some progress for them. They quietly won 4 games last year, Ed, and I think they can get in that playoff door potentially this year. It's there for them.
He talked about, and you mentioned the wide receiver defensive back core.
Mm-hmm.
That has been an Achilles heel for them. Not only them having him, but what they have to go against. That's why you see some humongous scores in this district that Hickory's had to endure. If they can cover these people, cut that down, and use some of their speedsters on the offensive end and get it could cause some people some problems.
Sure.
Where some teams think Hickory's an automatic win, they're going to go in at halftime maybe down a touchdown or only up a touchdown, saying, wow, we in a battle. Right. You got to play the game on the field, not on paper. And, you know, I'm hoping for Hickory to get into that play. Every kid deserves to taste the playoffs once or twice in their career. So hopefully this could happen this year. But that doggone district is so tough. And I know, was it three of their first 5 games are on the road? So that's either.
No, it doesn't make it easier. We've got a lot more high school content coming your way on this episode. You'll hear my chat with Anthony Joffrion of Kings Fork. We keep it in the SED from the Landstown Team Camp. That's on the way. Plus, I caught up with the future Tar Heel, North Carolina Tar Heel. You'll like this one, Ed, later in the show. A young man by the name of Aiden Woods, who's a baseball, basketball, football, 3-sport athlete from Abingdon High School in Southwest Virginia. He's committed to UNC to play his college football, and for Bill Belichick, legendary coach. You'll hear what he had to tell us in the show. And we've got all kinds of different surprises. But after the break, you're going to get a new segment on the show. It's called Flip the Script. And no, it doesn't mean Ed Young's going to be joining you from the pool, but it's Flip the Script. And you'll see what that's all about right here on 757 Sports Talk. And they're watching it where, Ed?
All over here on Cova Sports TV.
That's right. Stay tuned.
It's 757 Saturday Sports Talk with Matt Hatfield and the one and only Coach Ed Young, every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. on Cova Sports TV. From high school football and basketball to the NFL, MLB, college sports, and the NBA, if it's making headlines, they are breaking it down. Bold takes, big-time guests, and a few laughs, especially at the expense of that basketball coach Ed Young. Catch it on Cox TV and your view, and don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube at Cova Sports TV.
For any athlete, making it to the top sometimes comes with a few steps back. That's why parents count on CHKD Sports Medicine, advanced diagnostics, treatment, and rehabilitation for sports injuries, just for young athletes like yours. With convenient locations across Hampton Roads and a whole team of experts here to keep your favorite player at the top of their game. CHKD Sports Medicine. Learn more at chkd.org or call the CHKD Sports Injury Hotline.
Kova Painting. We don't just paint, we transform spaces. Visit kovapainting.com or call 757-550-7357 and mention the Sportsplex for 10% off of projects over $1,000.
What's up at DQ? Oh, just the best deal ever! The $7 bacon cheeseburger meal deal. Bacon cheeseburger for a limited time, plus fries, drink, and a sundae. Yeah, this is not the time to be modest. It's all full size for just $7. And there's bacon on that burger. The $7 bacon cheeseburger meal deal. Now, for a limited time on the $7 meal deal lineup. Only at DQ. Happy tastes good.
Did you hear about the kidnapping at school? It's okay. He woke up now.
And we're back here on 757 Sports Talk on Cova Sports TV with a guy that is occasionally napping, the coach Ed Young. I am Matthew Hatfield. Like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel wherever you are tuning in. We thank you for doing so through Cox and Your View and Twitter and X and Facebook and all the different platforms. Ed, it's now time for our Flip the Script. And this is a segment that we are bringing you, which we take a look at football teams, high school, college, pro, that will flip the script. Had a losing record last year, will be a winning team this year, or winning record in 2024, losing mark in 2025. You want to go first or I go first for this?
You brought up the new game. I'm going to let you go first.
Okay. So I'll start with the NFL, the National Football League. And I got three teams. Jacksonville Jaguars, new coach. Liam Cohen's going to inject some life and enthusiasm and energy into them. 4-13 last year. He'll help revitalize Trevor Lawrence. They got Travis Hunter in the draft. I like them a lot. 4-13, no, I think they'll win the division or at least challenge for the division. Winning record for them. Seattle Seahawks won 10 games a year ago. I don't feel as confident. Sorry, I don't love the Sam Darnold move. You're in a tricky division with the Rams. The Niners are better. Maybe even Arizona's better. And I think there are also some issues potential in that defense, which got gashed in some big moments like the primetime game against the Lions and others. And San Francisco, who I just highlighted, is if the Seahawks are going to come back to earth, the Niners have better talent than 6-11. They had a lot of injuries last year. They'll be healthier with McCaffrey, Purdy, and the gang. Kyle Shanahan will put it together, and I got them having a win record. So those are my three in the National Football League. How about you go now? Who's your flip the script team?
I'm going with the Dallas Cowboys to go. I think what they have last year, 5 wins?
No, they had 7.
They'll get 2 more. They'll at least go 9-8. Yes.
Nah, I don't see it. With the knee injuries, with Diggs coming off that, the running back Javonte Williams, you don't know if Dak Prescott will make it healthy, and they don't even have Micah Parsons all situated just yet. Are you sure?
Signed. He'll be signed. I talked with Jerry the other day.
Okay.
He'll be signed.
All
Don't
right.
read into it. Relax, people. It's how I do negotiations.
Jerry doesn't talk to agents, but he talks to Ed Young. That's nice to know. And by the way, CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, that's going to be enough. Pickens will be screaming and throwing his helmet by game 5.
Well, Jerry talked with George about being there. CD's our man, but we can't throw every pass to him because he's going to be double teamed, and that's when you're going to shine. And he patted him on the helmet and sent him away. So Jerry has a way of making the Cowboys. They're gonna have a winning season. 9 wins. 9 wins.
You got a lot of faith in Brian Schottenheimer, new head coach at the helm there. Marty's son, the late Marty's son, in that division with the defending Super Bowl champion Eagles and the Commanders. All right, college football, your turn. Who flips the script? Winning record, losing record? I think you're going negative, aren't you? As you go ahead and
I got a couple teams. I think I stole them out of your pocket. Florida State's definitely going to have a winning season.
2-10 last year. I agree.
And
quarterback from DC and Castellanos.
I want to say Oklahoma because you could get some wins in the Big 12. It's hard to go into the SEC and the Big 10 and say teams are going to do better because it depends on who they're playing. But a team I'm looking at and saying, and I did look at their schedule and I said, whoa, I don't see more than 5 wins. Rutgers.
Oh, really?
Tread downward, yes.
Greg Schiano, chopping the wood. You don't have faith in Rutgers, huh?
No, and of course, I'm the one that said long ago they don't belong in the Big 10. It's New Jersey.
They host Norfolk State this year. You think Michael Vick's going to go to Piscataway and beat them?
I think Rutgers going to open up 3-0, and they're not going to snip their next win. They're going to win. I don't know when they're going to win again. Look at their schedule after
Ohio, Miami of Ohio, NSU, Iowa. Then they go to Minnesota, bye at Washington, Oregon on a homecoming, at Purdue, at Illinois, Maryland, at the Buckeyes, and host Penn State. So it's going to be rough down the stretch. I'll give you that. But not a lot of faith in that sophomore from Minnesota, Ethan Kalakamanis at quarterback, getting the snaps from Gus Salinskis with the right guard, Kobina Asamoah, also blocking up front. Can you say all that?
That's the other problem. By the time, what's the coach's name?
Schiano.
No, the coach's name.
Coach's name. Yeah, Schiano. He's the coach, Greg Schiano.
He ain't going to be able to call out. By the time he calls out their names, those guys will probably have 2 touchdowns scored on them. You got to recruit guys with short names or give them, like our old buddy Hank Sawyer does, give them an apropos nickname that everybody can latch on to.
Well, we'll get to our high school ones in a second, but since you stole Oklahoma and you stole from me Florida State, I'll give you one more that you didn't steal. Kyle Whittingham, darn good coach at Utah. They were 5-7 last year. They've had quarterback issues galore. I don't think they win the Big 12, but I think they will get at least 7 wins and have a winning record. High school, I'll go first. I'll take a team outside the 7-5-7 since it's easier for me than you. I'll go with the Chilhowie Warriors. They were 3-7 last year. Lost on a 2-point conversion with Rye Cove. Lost on a couple other heartbreakers. I like the group there for Coach Reed Sturgill. He's got Asher Chapman at quarterback. He's a veteran QB. A lot of starters back on defense. Chilhowie will be better than 3-7. I think they'll contend for 6, 7, maybe even 8 victories this year, despite a tricky schedule. Book it. Class 1 top 10 team this year. How about you on the high school front, Sir Edward?
Well, I mentioned his name earlier. I'm going with the Titans of Lake Taylor. Struggle year last year. I mean, I think I picked them in 7 games.
And they were 3-7, so you lost them.
And I must have lost all 7. That might have been my fault. But 18 starters back, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
And if I remember something you said weeks ago, one of the best sack leaders in the area, one of the best interception leaders. Guy's name Hassan and Clark. I can't remember first name.
Hassan Hessen, Modrell Clark. Good job by you. Look at you. You pay attention at the time.
See, you think this guy don't know what he's doing. I know what I'm doing. Sometimes I just don't want to do it. So I think Lake Taylor definitely goes over 500, and I think they make a run at playoffs.
Good. We'll get Mr. Sawyer on the show coming up sometime soon as well. All right, that's going to conclude this edition of Flip the Script. Plenty more on the way. Don't touch that dial. You're watching 757 Sports Talk on Cova Sports TV. We'll be back after a quick word from those that help make it possible. Stay tuned.
What is more? Is it more reps, more strength, more stamina? We say it's all of that, but it's greater than just what's in the mirror. It's about improving your mental and physical health. More is a feeling of achievement, fulfillment, confidence. It's looking better, feeling better, being better, and it's our mission to get you there. Because here, you are more. One Life Fitness.
As a banker at Town Bank, we believe that people bank with people, not with banks. You're looking for an actual personal relationship, and that's what you get at our bank. You get that person that gets to know you, gets to know your business, is there for you. I think that is what motivates us, what drives us. And the idea that we are trying to serve others and enrich lives, I think is very true.
It's joke time. Where do hamburgers and hot dogs go dancing? A meatball.
All right, we are joined by a special guest now here, streaming on VirginiaPreps.com and through Rivals on 3. Matt Hatfield here with you. We have a special guest. He is one of the newest commitments to the Tar Heels of the University of North Carolina, listed at 6'5", 280 pounds, tight end, defensive lineman from Abingdon High School. He's also a multi-sport standout. We say hello and congrats on his pledge to play in Chapel Hill to Aidan Woods. Aiden, thanks for joining us. How's the summer treating you so far?
Absolutely, man. It's been great. Thanks for having me. We've been playing football, obviously. I've been getting out in the mornings and a little bit in the afternoons now. So we just started official practice. It's ramping up.
Good deal. Good deal. Well, let's talk about your commitment. You chose the Tar Heels over a bundle of offers that featured, not limited to the likes of UVA, Virginia Tech, Syracuse, West Virginia, Wake Forest. What made you choose UNC and Coach Bill Belichick?
Yeah, I mean, the opportunity for life after college, it's next to none. I mean, it's awesome. They're down in the triangle, obviously. So if I don't end up, figuring out exactly how I'd like to, my life after college is just, it's not set for me, but I've got a really good opportunity to be a successful individual.
Now, how much did it appeal to you, some of the tight ends that he's coached, and you see guys like Gronk that make it to the NFL and do what he's done, and how much does some of his success of coaching and developing pros matter to you? And when you first met him for the first time, what was that feeling like? Like, goodness, I'm talking to the guy with more Super Bowl rings than anybody, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously the prestige of the tight ends that he's been able to coach, and you go back and look at it, he's always had like a big tight end, a big Y that is the kind of the role that I'm getting into. So he's always had that. And that was definitely a really big, confidence boost for me. And he, the first time we met him, it was kind of awkward, but it was really cool. Just obviously he's Bill Belichick. He's a really just super smart, super intelligent individual. And you kind of get up to him and you're kind of like, whoa, I don't know how do I even really talk to him? Like, what do I say? And I think that we both just kind of shook each other's hands and just kind of looked at each other for a couple seconds. And then finally, one of us broke the ice. It might have been him. It might have been me. I don't really remember. It was just like, thanks for coming up. Or I was like, thanks for having me. And that was a really cool experience.
Growing up, Aiden, did you have a dream offer or dream school or two? I'm sure you've watched sports much of your life here, and we'll delve into you also playing another sport besides football, the one of the diamond here in a moment. But take me through that whole process, and then when recruiting started for you, how things kind of changed your perspective, if at all. Yeah.
So growing up, Dad was a massive Michigan fan, so I was a Michigan fan, and Mom was a UNC fan, but she wasn't really a super big UNC fan. Her dad was a UNC fan, so she was a UNC fan, but she kind of picked up more on the Michigan side as life goes on. And we went up to a Michigan camp, and it was still awesome. Don't get me wrong. I loved my time up there for the camp, and that was actually where I got my first offer. Okay. And I had a great time. But I could tell that, my home was kind of down here in the hills, and that's where I wanted to be. So whenever North Carolina comes calling, it's a pretty easy decision, considering I've got, a mother who's a fan, and they're only 3.5 hours down the road, and it's a great spot.
So fair to say Mom was most stoked about the pledge to UNC, right?
I think so. Dad has took it in stride, but I do think Mom was the most, happy about it. I mean, the day I committed, she went and ordered like 5 shirts for me and like 4 pairs of shorts, and she's all in on it. And it's great. It's great, and I've got 2 older sisters too, so they've been all in on it too. It's been all support by the family.
Okay, where did they go to school, by the way? Are they in school? Or are they done? What's the?
Yeah, Jennings is my oldest sister, and she goes to Emory and Henry, which
Okay.
is D2 right down the road. They actually just had a guy transfer into Oklahoma State,
Mm-hmm.
receiver. And then Ella, who's my middle sister, she goes to Radford.
Okay. For you, Aiden, I mean, there's more than just the Bill Belichick element coaching at UNC. There obviously is that swoosh. There's a lot of prestige and charm with UNC. Take me through, obviously, the vibe, the visit, other coaches there, and what they like about you, what you like most about them, if you could take me through some of that relationship and how it built.
Yeah, absolutely. With Coach Kitchens down there, Freddie Kitchens, he's been there for, I don't know, I mean, probably 3 or 4 years now, but he's just a great dude. And he was there with the old staff. And he coached in the NFL. He's coached tight ends in the NFL. He's been a head coach in the NFL. And whenever Bill Belichick gets hired, I'm kind of like, man, I really hope that Coach Kitchens is able to stay. I like him a lot as a coach, as a person. And whenever he was able to stay, not only did that help me because he was the one who was recruiting me and recruiting my area, but he's just made everything just awesome for me. And then down on the visit, I got to meet Coach Pick a lot, Coach Pickrell, and he's just a salt to the earth dude. He's young, but he's gonna be a pretty like highly touted coach pretty soon if he's not already. He's a great dude.
Good stuff. And then take me through a little bit of the things they liked most about your game, because when people put on the tape, they see you were an all-district tight end and defensive lineman. You're a versatile athlete, and there's some traits and qualities that you present that maybe not every prospect on the board presents, and I'm sure you feel that same way.
Yeah, absolutely. They like that I'm a heavier guy. They like that I run heavy, and I can be a tight end, though, and I've shown that in my years of playing tight end, and they're like, we can bring you in as a Y. You can be our guy down there at the Y, and we can bring you in, and we don't have to worry about any defensive end coming in because, typically defensive ends are out here outweighing guys on the end by 30 pounds. And I'm just not, they're not doing that to me. So I get the ability to come in and do that, which they loved. And then obviously I like it.
Good deal. We're talking with Aiden Woods, Abingdon High School. He's a UNC commit who stars in football, also baseball for the Falcons, coming off a season where he had 13 catches for 152 yards and 3 touchdowns as the Falcons look to make some noise yet again in Class 3 Region D. Aiden, tell me about the team this year. And you guys, I mean, you guys graduated about 20 seniors, I think it was, lost to William Byrd in the region semis, but I'm sure there's some other guys we watch him make some plays, and you'll be helping make some plays this year. Tell me about your team and some teammates, some other guys that might be getting some shine, may not be recruited by UNC, but by some schools at the next level potentially too.
Yeah, absolutely. We're young, man. We graduated a lot, and basically every senior that we graduated played. So we're definitely graduating a lot. I think on the defensive side, we've got 4 guys coming back who are starters, 4 or 5, and offensively we've got 2. So it's going to be a whole new look. But one of the returners, actually, it's an inside backer for us, Kiefer Widener. He is a dude. He does not miss tackles. I don't think I've ever seen him miss a single tackle. I mean, just knows the field, knows the game. A wrestler, he knows his leverages, he knows how to get people on the ground. He is a guy. And then we've got another receiver. He played an outside backer for us, Judge Adillo, and he's another returner. They'll both be juniors this year. They're a year below me, so they're 2 dudes, man. Judge is a baseball guy too. He plays baseball, and he's getting looks for baseball too. He's a guy. He's just cut up. Focuses a lot in the weight room and on his diet, and he's a guy.
I love it. And you play baseball as well. For the folks who don't know, tell us what you do on the baseball field and how baseball helps you for football and vice versa, how your time on the gridiron gets you ready for baseball season. You have that little break. So you don't have to go from fall to spring, goes fall, winter, then spring, but I'm sure both sports help you in some sense, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I actually played basketball too, so I was a 3-sport guy. Yeah, I didn't get much break at all, but baseball it's awesome. We've got a really good program down here in Abingdon. We're far corner, and no one really expects anything out of this far corner of Southwest Virginia, but we've been to the state championship, I think 4 out of the past 6 years or something like that. I mean, just we got a really good program down here for baseball, and that, you know, being able to come in as a freshman, and actually started as a freshman on baseball too. I was a DH freshman year, and then this year I ended up. There was another guy who was a senior who me and him split a lot of time, and I mean we had a really fun season, man. And it helps a lot because down here a lot of the guys play both sports, so inherently like you get to know a lot of guys in baseball because baseball is a slower sport than football is. You get to be a lot more time just being together, and I've enjoyed that a lot. Being able to just be with a lot of the guys for baseball. And I mean, we've got, I think this past year we had like 4 or 5 guys going D1 on our roster for baseball. It's competitive. It is. It's tough to be able to play on the baseball team and then play another sport. But I mean, I'm lucky, I'm blessed that I was able to do so.
Very cool. You're right. The programs there at Abingdon have a lot of success. Baseball program going to state championships. Basketball did during the COVID year, and football's making some playoff noise. And a couple more minutes here with Aiden Woods, the newest UNC football commit from the Commonwealth of the Air. Guest here, VirginiaPreps.com, Rivals on 3, and then we'll do some rapid fire before we let you run here. And we thank you for the time. Now, you've gotten, I'm sure, some feelers too from other schools, and you know it'll take you until signing day. Give us the sense you want to sign early. You're going to be an early enrollee. What that process is like, and would you even be open to if eventually they said, "Deal, we want to maybe move you to the line of scrimmage as an O line or D line"? Would you be open to something like that? Give me kind of the thought process on those two things if you can.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to be a mid-year enrollee. I've done everything I need to. I need to take 3 classes this semester, so that's all I'm taking, and I'm ready for that. I'm excited for that. I've prepared for that too, though. Like I've come back. I've got like I think I've got a 4.3 GPA right now, and I've done my work in the classroom. I've prepared to get myself in this position for that. And you know, with moving interior, that's actually what I thought for the longest time that I was going to come in and play was center. And basically they were talking to me on my official and we're kind of like, hey, like, you know, we like you a lot as a tight end and we think that you can play there. Like we don't want to do that. We don't want to move you into center immediately. They're like, we think you can play at tight end. We think you can play at this level. So they're like, all right, well, we're going to keep you there. So I ended up committing as a tight end, but for forever I thought I was going to play center and I was more than happy to do so.
Okay. What are you working on in your craft, trying to improve on, be it for this season coming up for the Falcons and then beyond that in college in the ACC with UNC? What are the things you're kind of studying and trying to work on in your own craft?
Yeah, so this season where we've had a lot of turnover, we've lost a lot in the offensive line room. So I'm actually moving in and playing guard in the regular season. Okay. And it's definitely it's a difference. You know, typically I'm used to being out there on the end and it's one-on-one, like you better beat your guy. But interior, man, you got to help this guy, and it's a difference. But the biggest thing I'm really working on is just getting myself in the right shape and the right mental, the right mental shape and physical shape.
Perfect here. Last one before we do rapid fire here, Aiden. You got a 4.3 GP as you mentioned. So tell me about what you're looking to study at UNC, and then right now, what's your number one favorite class, and then the class that you could do without.
Yeah, I'm looking at like kinesiology, exercise science, that general field. Favorite class, I love histories. I don't know why I like history. Maybe because it's all laid out and there's no up for interpretation or anything like that. You either know it or you don't. Math and that stuff gets a little funky sometimes. But I mean, the class I could probably do without. I don't know. I don't like English. I don't like writing papers and all that, and I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm not that great at it or something, but I don't know.
Listen, you're born to be a grinder and hit people and play competitive juices. You're not. I get it. Hey, this has been a blast. Before I let you run, you ready to play rapid fire with us?
Absolutely.
Here we go with Aiden Woods, the 3-sport standout in football, baseball, and hoops, as I learned today from Abingdon High School, headed to UNC to play his college football. All right, Aiden, a favorite TV show?
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Okay. Candy bar, what's your go-to?
Snickers.
There you go. Nobody can hate a Snickers. It's always a good thing, especially after a hot day, right?
Absolutely.
Who's the fastest football player on the Abingdon team here in 2025?
Oh, God. Oh, no. I'm going to make someone mad whenever I say this, I'm sure.
No, it's okay.
I'm going to say that it's our punter.
It's your punter, Mason Solian, is that right? Is that
it? So Mason's the kicker. We have a punter.
Okay.
He runs track and
shout out
he
his name
plays,
if you can.
Peyton Molinary.
Okay.
I'm going to say it's Peyton. He's either Peyton or Tyke, one of our running backs, Tyke Thompson.
Yeah, he was the backup last year to Barr, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. Yeah, those are probably two of the fastest guys, and Judge can roll too. I mean, we got a lot of guys who can run.
At least you were honest, didn't pick yourself, and that just
No.
means Coach Amberger's got to throw in the fake punt and let him scamper this year at some point. It
I mean,
won't
maybe
affect the impact of the outcome of the game. So
exactly. Yes, sir.
okay, now here's one. Then we'll go to something else offside the team. Who's the strongest football player on the team not named Aiden Woods?
Gosh, it probably isn't. It's Daniel Blackman. I think it's either Daniel or Judge. Judge is, I mean, he's a really good
Daniel
athlete.
lineman for you guys?
Yeah, he plays right tackle and linebacker. He's built. Both of them are. I mean, just built and mountains of dudes. He was benching 315 for 5 the other day in the gym, and Judge's deadlift is absurd. I mean, he deadlifted like 695 for 7 as like a sophomore. I mean, just yeah, those two dudes are just, and they lift together and they go at it every day.
All right. Trade places with one person for a day. Who you choosing?
Gosh, I actually just talked to Mom about this last night, and I didn't land on anyone. I am gonna say, I mean, I feel like it'd be really cool to be the president now.
Okay, yeah. Listen, you'd be in charge of the free
Yeah.
world, right?
Yeah.
What's your pregame hype song?
God's gonna cut you down, Johnny Cash.
I did not. That's the first Johnny Cash pick I've heard, but I like it. I dig it.
Yeah.
Hot or cold?
Cold.
Fast or slow?
Slow.
All right. You can visit one place in the world. Where are you going?
Hong Kong.
Ooh, okay. And lastly, give me one word, just one word to best describe Aiden Woods.
Competitor.
All right, there you go. Got to keep those juices, the competitive juices flowing. Aiden Woods from Abingdon High School in Southwest Virginia. They'll be opening up the season August 29th against John S. Battle, but a lot of key games, including Mountain 7 district rivals like Union. They're defending Mountain 7 district champs. They got Tennessee High, Johnson County, some out-of-state opponents on the slate too. Thank you so much, my pal. Good chatting with you, and all the best this season and beyond down there in Chapel Hill.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
You got it.
Until now, visit vbunited.com. Don't miss out on Virginia Beach United.
As a banker at Town Bank, we believe that people bank with people, not with banks. You're looking for an actual personal relationship, and that's what you get at our bank. You get that person that gets to know you, gets to know your business, is there for you. I think that is what motivates us, what drives us. And the idea that we are trying to serve others and enrich lives, I think is very true.
Hi, this is Wayne Williams of Williams Deloach. I'm an experienced personal injury attorney, and I hope you don't need my services because I certainly don't like to see people injured on a daily basis. But in preparation for that unfortunate situation, your insurance coverage is very vital to your case. Give me a call today. I'd be happy to discuss your insurance situation for you and your family. That's the most protection you have, and you want to have that ahead of time.
Hampton Roads has a long-running high school and college sports tradition. It's time to give them the spotlight they deserve. This is 757 Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
And we welcome everybody back to Saturday Sports Talks. I am the coach, Ed Young. Normally, my partner, Matt Hatfield, reintroduces us, but I moved him out of the way and I took over. But we're going to allow you to see Matt because he recently spoke to Anthony Joffrion, the Kings Fork football coach, head football coach, on this upcoming Kings Fork football season, which should be a tremendous one. Let's see what the two people had to say here on Cova Sports TV.
All right, I'm here with Kings Fork head football coach Anthony Joffrion. His team getting ready for the 2025 season as the Bulldogs are among about a dozen schools competing at the Landstown Team Camp in Virginia Beach. Coach, another year full of excitement and enthusiasm for you and the group from Suffolk. Tell me about this squad. You have to replace the all-time rusher in Javon Ford, but a lot of key pieces back offensively, defensively, some new faces, fresh faces as well, and should be a fun year.
Yeah, very excited for this upcoming year. Our kids been working really hard, definitely buying into the culture here. We're definitely going to miss Javon Ford, Simeon Trotter, Justin Irby, Shamael Holt. All those seniors that went on to college. We had 12 young men, they're going to college. Some of them already in camp. So it's exciting, man, just to see, kids from Suffolk, going on to college. And most of them are first-generation college students. So that's just, it's exciting, man, just to see kids, live out their dreams.
Well, Ford was a difference maker on offense. It looks like you have one of those guys on defense that can be a player of the year conversation guy in Virginia Tech commit Josh Pittman off the edge. He's been doing it since freshman year. He plays with violence and an aggression, doesn't he?
Yes, sir. Yeah, Joshua Pittman, man, he's a special kid. He plays with a lot of aggression on the field. Everybody thinks he's, ruthless and things like that. But off the field, he's like a clown. Like, he's one of the funniest guys to be around. He's just a great kid, man. I'm very excited the way he's leading our defense and setting the expectation for us this year.
A lot of quality receivers for your returning quarterback in DeAndre Artis-Boone, and also a new face that looks like he's going to be an impact guy in Anthony Henderson. Tell us about how he's fitting in and what you expect from the offense.
Yeah, so our offense is going to be very explosive. DeAndre Artis-Boone has only lost 3 games as a starter. So I think, he's a very solid quarterback. Recently just committed North Carolina Central to be a corner. But he's waiting on a video to post it. The kids these days, man, it's crazy. But, super excited for him and his family. We got Zadarius Wynn. He's committed to North Carolina Central as well. Hopefully they are not roommates, but we'll see. That's going to be interesting. And then we got Miles Satchel, who's like, a guy that we've been bringing along. He's going to have a good year as well. So we'll see how it all works out. At running back, Isaiah Gilliam and Preston Hall are definitely going to lead that. And then, Anthony Henderson. We just have a lot of guys on offense. 3 returning offensive linemen. And then we got 2 young guys we got to put in with some early offers. So, we're excited about our offense.
2 more for you, let you run. Obviously, with playing in the Southeastern District and Region 5B, which is arguably one of the best in the state, you better have the guys on the back end to cover teams that can throw the football. And it looks like you do going back to a year ago and different 7-on-7 team camps. And Reggie Davis out here is a guy that continues to get better and better.
Yeah, Reginald Davis, he's 5'9", but if he was 6'2", he'd have over 30 offers. He picked up an offer from Syracuse about a month ago. Super excited for him. Works hard, wears his heart on his sleeve. He comes to work every single day. And then Carl Arline Jr., who's a guy who's kind of flown under the radar, but he's definitely a Division I kid, 2-year starter. Super excited for him. We just, have a lot of guys. Joey Applewhite, inside backer, has started every year in high school. Ernest Jones, another guy who's really done a great job as a leader. So we have a lot of experience on both sides of the ball.
Lastly, a lot of teams say they want to play for a championship and expect to be doing it on Thanksgiving weekend. For you all, it seems like a realistic possibility and goal. What are the things you and the coaches say will be determining factors for you to get there and go further?
Yeah, I would say the biggest thing for us, for me, has been tremendous. After last season when we lost to Oscar Smith, I actually ended up taking over the offense in the middle of the year. We were able to score points, things like that. So I'm super excited for this season because we've been able to put in our whole offense. And, our kids aren't thinking when they play, which I think is huge. But in order for us, to get to Thanksgiving, it's going to take discipline, playing our brand of football. And we're just excited for the challenge. We're playing the toughest region in the state, so we're just excited to go out there and compete.
Thanks so much. Look forward to seeing the Bulldogs in the bite.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
Why do French people eat snails? They don't like fast food.
This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk with Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
Well, all the French people, if you're upset with that last pull in the fool, you know who to go after. I am the coach, Ed Young. I don't do fool in the pool jokes because I want everybody to be happy. But what my partner is good at, Matt Hatfield, that is interviewing. And he recently spoke to new head coach at Lakeland High School football team, Reynaldo Pena. There's a new name for the area. This guy has some college experience, some military background. Pretty strong hire by Mike Whittington, the friend of the show here, the AD at Lakeland. This is a good hire now. And be patient, Mr. Reynaldo. Just be patient because it's a lot of new kids for Lakeland. But let's see what he had to say when Matt talked to him at the Landstown Football Team Camp. And let's see what they had to say right here on Cova Sports TV.
All right, here with Lakeland head football coach Reynaldo Pena as the Cavaliers from Suffolk made their way to Virginia Beach for the Landstown Team Camp among the dozen or so schools competing. Coach, you're new to Virginia. Well, we welcome you. Tell us what brought you to Lakeland and also what brought you to this team camp.
Well, you know, I was at Austin Peay State University last year coaching as an analyst, quality control as well. And I missed being a head coach. I was a head coach in Tennessee for high school, and I just missed it so much. So I put my name out there to a lot of different places. You know, my family and I we're excited to move. We're excited to get together. So, and, you know, one of the best decisions we made was coming here to Lakeland, for sure.
What did you learn at the collegiate level, and what do you hope will enable you to bring that to this situation at Lakeland and do some positive things?
Details and hard work, man. No matter what, the work is all what it is, man. You got to put everything into it. You got to make sure you have details on the fine things, not just the big things, but the little things as well. And it opened my eyes to a lot of great things, and I love it because I had great guys that I coached with and taught me so much, man. It was amazing, for sure.
Well, watching you here from the sidelines, just taking picture and visually checking out what your guys are like at both the Kellum 7-on-7 and this, I tell you have a ton of energy, so you must go nonstop about it. And I know it's not going to be an easy, turn it over overnight for you, but it looks like just getting them to play with passion is a big deal, right?
Absolutely. I get that just from being a military guy. My personality is kind of big, but, the Army just, brought a great qualities and great values to my life. And, I'm just not shy about, speaking my mind in a positive sense or, making sure young people just understand what we're trying to get across as as coaching staff. But, I love every bit of it, man. I love waking up every day. I'm a retired veteran, so all I do is football, and I love it every single day.
What have you liked seeing in terms of the competition, both at this camp and in the off season? Any couple of names that have stood out for you so far, be it offensively or defensively, as you get this program to try to get some noise done or make some noise this year?
For our team or other teams?
Your team.
My team, I think, right now is developing a cohesion. I think it's huge for us to, bring a little bit of attitude to it and making sure that we have, cohesion on both sides of the football and our special teams. It all starts with, our great coaching staff, and then it works to guys, like Malik. Malik's a great defensive lineman, offensive lineman guy that he brings a lot of energy, brings a lot of that edge that we need. And then, guys like Tucker Marsh, guys like Brinkley, Johnson, great guys like that come out here and work their butts off. Antonio Wilson, that they come out here and give great energy, and they try to, be a direct reflection of us as a coaching staff as well, too.
Sure. We hit on, obviously, your energy, your military background, the passion there. Some will measure things in terms of wins or losses. What, for you, will make this coming season a successful one? What are the things you're telling the guys that you want to see done, be it here in July to August through September, October, and November?
Well, it's all pyramided to the top, which is culture. I just want the culture to be better. I want the culture to look a certain way, and everything follows it. Great culture. There's teams out here, you see with, Churchland, Nansma River, Kingsport, guys like that are out here that have great culture amongst their own. And we're just trying to develop our culture. We're just trying to work our butts off the way, they are. And, if we can refine great culture at Lakeland High School, I think we can do a lot of great things and a lot of positive things this season and beyond.
Coach Pena and the Cavs grinding away. Thank you so much. All the best.
All right. Thank you.
So that was Reynaldo Pena, head football coach of the Lakeland Cavaliers in year one at the helm in Suffolk. Ed, they do have some winnable games out of the chute with the likes of Windsor and with Sussex Central and Southampton. Southeastern District, though, it's unforgiving to some of the smaller schools in Lakeland, being one of those in Class 3. They don't have the enrollment of your Class 6s like Oscar Smith and Western Branch, or even your Class 5 contenders like an Indian River, a Kings Fork, and Nansman River.
Coach Pena's got some excitement. Sounds like a good background, but he better get some wins, hope for some wins early in those 3 games. because the Southeastern District is, as you say, unmerciful for a young team that's trying to get it back together. Lakeland has had some downtime here the last couple of years, and to really try to get going in the Southeastern District, it's just not the place where you're going to be able to do that. But like he said, culture in terms of establishment, keeping it being cohesive together at all three phases of the game, seeing probably his product and practice come to fruition on the field on game night. Those are things that he'll be looking for. It's a whole new staff. He's new to the area. He's new to the district. That's tough. That's tough. And but you got to start somewhere.
Let's hit on a couple other high school items of note before we bid adieu on this particular edition of 757 Saturday Sports Talk on Cova Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe and interact with us. Our top 10 countdown is already rolling out on VirginiaPreps.com. Neat deal when you sign up, too. Check out the website for that. Hayfield named a new head football coach, Kenneth Lucas Jr., Ed. And it came literally 21 days before the first game. Hayfield's going to open up its season against Mount Vernon on August the 28th. They just named a coach now. Remember the whole, issue last season with Hayfield, Daryl Overton, and we, by the way, saw up there at St. James in Springfield. He got hired in late January at St. James. They got the postseason ban from the VHSL for 2 years. They then were able to appeal and get their way back into the playoffs, and then they get to the playoffs, and then after literally what was all of one game, they withdraw from the playoffs due to more evidence that came out in regards to, first, the VHSL put in that proselytizing rule. There was some, shenanigans as far as how players were enticed to come to their school, a bevy of transfers, let's just call it what it is. And then evidence of the athletic director text messages, he's no longer there. They withdraw from the playoffs. Now, the principal hires Kenneth Lucas Jr. He previously was an assistant coach, Pittsburgh Steelers defensive backs and special teams coach, also coached at Morgan State. He's got a pretty in-depth background. He's been coaching at Gonzaga. Tough situation, though, for Hayfield to hire a coach in August. Meanwhile, Osbourn High School, which had a 6-4 improvement season a year ago, not quite the state playoff years of 2006 with Brandon Hogan leading the way, but Osbourn had fallen on some hard times. The Manassas School, they decide to oust their head coach, Mike Johnson, this week, literally with its season opener a few weeks away. And I'll read you the Facebook note, if I can, real quickly here, from their head coach, Mike Johnson. Well, family and friends, my tenure as a coach at Osbourn is now over. They just recently terminated me as head coach at Osbourn, and the factors were that I allowed my coaches to hold workouts with non-Osbourn kids while school in the summer. While school was out, I think he just mistyped it there. But anyway, while school was out in the summertime. And the other was that I signed a document that a friend and his son could move in with me, but they never moved in. However, the document stated I had to report that they didn't move in within 3 days. I didn't have a copy of the document, so I had no idea that I had to report it. Well, now I have free time to do whatever I want. It's God's will, something better coming. When one door closes, another one opens. Thank you for the opportunity. Be careful what you ask for. There is no loyalty. There is always people that want you to succeed until you succeed, Coach Mike. Your thoughts on the two situations, then I'll bring up another one with you as you roll your eyes a little bit there. It doesn't sound like you totally are jiving with it.
I don't. Hayfield was a mess from last, total mess. And their coach in January gets hired on a great situation at St. James.
Mm-hmm. Which, by the way, I'll stop you for a second real quick before you go further. And I'm not saying he should have been fired or what should happen, but I will go back to Ocean Lakes for a second. I've said this. I don't ever want to hear these administrations that bring in coaches, which, by the way, they did, brought in Daryl Overton, won state titles at Freedom of Woodbridge, and then I'm not saying they cried, but then cry when the guy leaves and you had a chance, an opportunity to do something, reprimand, suspend, terminate, whatever it is, and he leaves and a bunch of players go with him. You had a chance to do something and you didn't, but go ahead, continue on.
Right. And then Hayfield, you wait until August. You have an opening in January. Okay, what are you sitting around waiting for? Get somebody who can tie this all back in, do the best you can to make your name look good again and get on the state's good graces. But give a guy a shot in January so he can get the kids in the offseason, get them in the weight room, develop some relationships. You hire them in what, less than 30 days before the first game. I don't know what you expect. I just don't. That's Hayfield. Osbourn, based on what you're saying, I can only go by what you're saying. It's two gray, very gray areas. You signed some document that says a friend and his son, I'm assuming the son can play football, is going to live with you, which allows the kid to play football. Okay, is that legal? Did you check with your school district? Did you check with VHSL? And what document did you need to tell them? He's saying, well, they didn't come with me, but I was supposed to tell within 3 days. Where did that come from? That he's not living with me. So if you didn't do it in 3 days, whether he's with you or not, grounds for termination? Never heard of that.
Yeah.
Never heard of that. And the idea of, well, I supposedly, or I allowed some assistant football coaches to run practices or workouts in the off season with players from another school. Well, first of all, you're the head coach. You can have all these assistants do it all, whatever you want. You have to take the fall for if they do something wrong. So if you know that it's not apropos to have kids from other schools work out with you, then you don't do it. So what do? Well, you make it go to your AD, your principal. Hey, we have some workouts in the fall. In summer. What's the ruling on kids from other schools working with our kids? It's frowned on hard, because and what happens if one or two of those kids end up in your building? Now, those coaches from those schools are going to be like, hey, he was working my guys out. He's talking to them every day. He's recruiting them. Here we go. So if it's not something you should be doing, you got to know that from your administration. Now, if he were to say, my assistant coaches were working kids out, unbeknownst to me, and they have, okay, but remember, you're the head coach. So if your assistants do something, it comes to you. It comes on you for that. That's just the way it is. So you can't just say, I didn't know nothing about it. You got to know something about your players, your assistants doing some work. Are they sneaking behind you? Then get rid of the assistant coaches so that you don't got rid of, which now what they did. So it's just a kind of a strange situation there. And I don't want to come across as holier than thou and whatever. Oh, he should have been. Based on what you said, it's two really gray areas that need to be looked at. And I would say as what coach should have done was go to his AD, go to his principal. If they say, oh, we think it's okay, then I say to them, are you sure? Can you check with VHSL? Because you might say it's okay. VHSL finds out, and then I'm out on the limb. So just check with it. Of course, the old adage is, if it don't feel right, don't do it, period. And, this thing about working other kids out, I don't really like bringing in other players because I don't want to be accused of recruiting. But more importantly, I want to work my guys out. I want to get our guys. I want to give them all the reps, the attention. I don't want other people coming in here because I guarantee you coaches are always going to say, why? If I find out my guys are working out with somebody, and I've done this in the past, I start asking questions. Why are you working out? Why didn't you tell me? I call that coach. Hey, coach, I understand you got some of my guys working out with you. You didn't think it was proper to call me ahead of time and ask? See, that would bother me. So two situations that just, it's just frustrating.
And one last situation before we sign off here, and that was one that I teased last week we would have you talk about here on the second Saturday, second full weekend here of the month of August, year 2025. Going back to 2024, if you recall, the big controversy was Hayfield. Well, already Fairfax High School, which just a few years ago made a state playoff run, had Tony Rojas. You remember Tony Rojas, the linebacker, went to Penn State, multi-sport guy. Done a nice job up there, Fairfax has, under Trey Taylor, former coach on the football side of things at South Lakes. Well, Fairfax High School coaches made headlines for not the right reasons just recently on the final day of July. Actually, it was a little bit before that. Accused of paying nearly $8,000, $8,000 to recruit a football player. Two coaches on leave following the allegations. placed on administrative leave tied to a player recruited during the past school year. He's covered up one eye, folks. You can only see with the left one. Trey Taylor and an assistant coach are placed on leave. The football program, this is what a parent of the player in question sent a letter to FCPS officials. The football program at Fairfax High School recruited and paid for my son to transfer to play on the 2024-2025 varsity football team. We received a total of $7,950, $5,000 in cash, and $29.50 sent to Venmo, sent via Venmo. Hey, you got Venmo. I got Venmo. We'll take that, right? Allegation is that money was used to help pay for an apartment so the family could move into the school boundary. There's a lot of comments from this. Now, here's the other thing. Trey Taylor was one of 6 FCPS football coaches who signed a letter threatening not to participate in the playoffs if Hayfield's team was allowed in last year. So, and again, Fairfax County has confirmed this to Fox 5 and other outlets on this report. It's all over the web. It's on Yahoo. It's everywhere. My goodness gracious, Ed. And again, we talk about seasons being destroyed. The kids from Hayfield, whether they were there from the get-go or not last year, dreams crushed of a state championship. Some seniors, last chance. You know, Jeff Overton's going to get a chance to play again. He's at Virginia Tech, junior that is. But some of those seniors that aren't college players won't get a chance to play again. I feel for these Osbourn kids right now and these Hayfield kids right now. You get a coach hired this late. You have a coach dismissed this late, it can crush your season. And how about these kids at Fairfax now? What if you're a 4-year starter or a 3-year starter or a senior or junior? You're so geared up for the season, and then this happens. I mean, we have some suspicion on why it happened. Maybe they didn't get as much money as they were promised, or maybe said players not starting. There's a lot of reasons you can speculate on why or what happened here. But the bottom line is this just puts a big black cloud over a football program that, you know, a lot of these kids have been grinding away at this, and it's unfortunate. It really is.
A situation like this, and the prior ones we just spoke of, it hurts those kids that are doing right, working their butts off, excited to play, want to play, and then all of a sudden, because of some shenanigans of a few, ruin it for everybody. This last one, I almost want to say, stop making stuff up. Who can pay $8,000? I don't have $8,000 in my bank account. As embarrassing as it is to say, I don't have that in my bank.
You better stop shopping so much.
It's just the fact that I got bills galore.
Okay.
I wouldn't offer a kid $8. I wouldn't buy him a hamburger at McDonald's to come on.
You're cheap. You're cheap. That's why you're not coaching nowadays. You're too cheap.
Exactly. But to pay somebody, I mean, I don't even want to talk about it. It's so ridiculous. That is blatant. When you're going to give money to somebody so your kid can come to play for me and not be, that's blatant. If that's exactly what happened, which I fail to see that really happen.
But let me ask you real quick. Do you think this is the only place where that's happening? And when there are rules that are supposed to be enforced now by, you know, certain school districts, or you could say regions, the Virginia high school, whatever it might be, about transfers, which, you know, has been talked about here. Are they going to be enforced? And you do wonder, particularly when you see schools getting X amount of transfers or certain things happening, or you hear different things, you wonder if this is an isolated case, or, and I hate to make the analogy of high school sports to the gambling situation, but I look at Major League Baseball with the 2 players from the Cleveland Guardians, Ortiz and Clase, who got placed on, you know, leave essentially from the sport, suspended while the investigation is ongoing. You find it hard to believe there's just 2 guys on the same team that are involved with pitches in question. With I find it hard to believe. I mean, are we that naive? And I hate to think there are a lot of other things that are nefarious out there, but you do wonder, don't you?
When these things come up, first thing a lot of people say, especially the people that were caught, well, everybody else was doing it, or I know some people were doing it and nobody said anything. Everybody turned a blind eye to it, a deaf ear.
Doesn't make it right. Yeah.
It doesn't make it right. It doesn't mean you can go out and pay somebody $8,000 or entice kids to, hey, come and work out with us, and you know, maybe you'll be excited about and transfer to us. You just can't do that. Now, Is it happening elsewhere? If you look at the scheme of everything, grand scheme of everything, you probably, and peel back layers, you probably find some stuff that, hey, the VHSL, if you're going to make new transfer rules, how are you going to enforce it? Because if you sit back and say,
new transfer rules, or is it just different verbiage that make it feel like it's
either way? If you're going to say, here's our new rules, okay, we got them down here, they're in the book. We just added 18 more pages to the code book. Who's enforcing it? Because if you say, well, that's going to be up to individual school districts, schools, principal, you can't do that. People look for advantages, and some of them will not only bend the rule, they'll try to break the rule and then come up with some cockamamie story that they didn't really break it. It was misconstrued and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. This is why I thank the good Lord. When I started out as a young coach years ago, I had the right mentors. You take what comes in your school, in your door. Of course, and then you had to check and make sure they were there legally. You go to your athletic director, check these kids' addresses. Here's our eligibility. Their grades are good. Okay, now let's go to work. Me and my coaches, we got to do something with these kids. But somewhere over time, people decided that's too much work. I don't get really good kids. I got to go out and get somebody else's kids, especially from a program who worked with those kids, who had discipline, who taught those kids well. Those are the ones that are going to get recruited. They don't recruit junk. People don't go and recruit junk. That's why when I was at Nez River, I used to get chastised by you and many others. You're losing young kids are transferring left or right. Right, because they're going to come at me because we did it right. We took what came in the door. We instilled discipline. You didn't get grades. Your butt's set. You can't do what we want. Your butt's set down. And we got them going to a certain point. I'm not the only one. There's a lot of coaches out there that do that stuff. But these guys that do it illegal, it makes me mad because it's my profession. Coaching is my profession. And I'm tired of people in the stands and everybody think they can coach. Hey, I can do this, I can do that. And then when us real coaches, and we put our life into it, we studied about coaching, whatever, do something a little different. Oh, he can't coach. He's not a good coach. Why he's not a good coach? Well, they don't win. We see the talent level they have. Yeah, but everybody else is winning. Yeah, but you see where those kids are coming from? I'm going off on a tangent, but it bothers me to see in high school, you're going to offer a kid $8,000. If this is true, you're going to offer a kid $8,000 when your coach's salary, does anybody make that? Most ever made in coaching ever is $5,000 for the year in coaching before taxes. So take 25% out of that. That's what I got left. Okay, so you don't do it for the money. And I wish we could put more clamps on these coaches that are circumventing the rules and getting kids in. I wish we could. But it's human nature out there. And, I'll just say this comment that somebody gave to me one time. There's more people not in jail that should be than people in jail. And I was like, what are you talking about? Then I started thinking what that really meant. And I'll leave it at that.
Woo! You got you all fired up. You're more fired up about that than I was about Shedeur Sanders lighting it up on Friday night for the Browns in a preseason game, which was just
Shedeur Sanders should be the number one quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. He's that good. Joe Flacco.
That ain't saying much. Hold on.
Joe Flacco.
I'm gonna upset. Listen, I'm gonna really upset people now. You ready? I'm gonna make some people mad. You ready for this? I'm gonna do it. And it's not meant to make people mad, but I'm gonna say it. That's just like when people said a few years ago that Taylor Heineke should be starting for the Commanders before they got Jaden Daniels. Well, yeah, they have nothing else. That's why. I mean, Alex Smith was like, so what? I mean, you got Joe Flacco, who's 8,000 years old. You got Kenny Pickett, who's hurt. The other guy, Dylan Gabriel, okay, he's not that great. So what is his – regardless of which – put it this way, and this is not a knock on Shedeur, because I know you're going to – I try to get you fired up about Clase, Ortiz, and the Guardians, by the way, who are a half a game behind your Yankees for the final AL wildcard spot after the Bronx Bombers spit it up on Friday night against the Astros in extra innings at the stadium. The Yankees lose. The Yankees lose. Call your buddy Turturro up. But, Edward, regardless of if it's Pickett, Gabriel, Sanders, Flacco, or Watson, If he's done massaging somebody or getting a massage.
You forgot one.
Who did I forget? Bernie Kosar?
No, they just signed Utley.
Oh, Tyler Huntley. You're right. There you go. Regardless of who it is, their QB1 is going to be 31 or 32 out of 32 teams in the league. The only one that's got as bad a situation are the New Orleans Saints, by the way, who might get so excited they'll go trade for the guy, McKee from the Eagles, who lit it up in a preseason game. But, yeah, I mean, you're just a little upset, a little bitter. You're not cashing in, cash cow. You don't have the finances, the resources, all the do's and don'ts. And let me tell you something. If that makes you mad, think about all these 4- and 5-star recruits that are raking in 6 figures to go play in the SEC or the Big Ten. And they haven't even graduated from high school yet. How does that make you feel? Does that burn you in your pit? Does that burn you in your gut?
It's just a different world we live in now.
It is.
And people say,
better adapt.
It's not, you're going to have to. If you want to stay in it, you got to adapt. And at the college level, it's legal. Schools can pay. Now, we all both know, and everybody else knows, way yesteryear, kids were getting paid under the table. That table behind you, under the table.
Oh, with the trap door I got? The trap door?
Yeah, the trap door. That's where a lot of deals were had. I told you, I saw money exchange years ago to Carrier Dome in the bathroom. I was in the doing my business. When I walked out, I was like, oh, I probably shouldn't be in here right now. And I won't say who the players were. One was a longtime NBA veteran. The other guy, I think he had a very, very short career and went overseas. But there was money exchange. I saw it with my own eyes. So, yes, it happens a lot. And money's the root of all evil. And right now in college sports and I guess in high school, there's some evil going on.
With your own two beady little eyes, as it was once said in one of our favorite sitcoms. That's going to do it for this episode. We thank all of you that tuned in. Aiden Woods of Abingdon High School, UNC commit, all the interview clips. We're getting closer and closer to our high school football preview show. And again, if you missed any episodes, it's always available on the YouTube on Cova Sports TV. Hit that little bell, little subscribe bell, the like button, the share buttons. And you can also watch us Mondays and Tuesdays on Cox and Your Review, whether you're in the Hampton Roads, the Fredericksburg, the Roanoke, or Northern Virginia markets. There's the channels on your ticker right there. I think it's on Monday nights at 8 o'clock Eastern and Tuesdays at 12 noon. Check your local listings and your guide for all of that.
At least hit my like button. If you don't like his, hit my like button so we can stay on.
We got some neat things in the hopper that are forthcoming, including next week. We finally rescheduled it. Phil Steele, a couple segments with him, the college football guru, is expected to stop by and break down more college football. We already had on a couple of college football experts like Paul Stone and Mr. Greg Medea talking UVA. We'll talk some more about the Hokies and the Monarchs and the Spartans with Michael Vick and HU and all kinds of things. JMU. Mike London might be stopping by. We found out Mike London watches the show. So shout out to Mike London, the Bethel grad, Hampton native, former UVA coach, and doing a nice, splendid job at William & Mary as well, too. So for the coach, Ed Young, I am Matthew Hatfield. Thank you all for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time as summer is winding down and Ed's making all his travels. And, well, we keep you informed and entertained because there's always a nice little swim for each other.
Why did the coffee file a police report? Because it got mugged. The coffee got mugged.